Hello everyone, welcome to Most CD Culture Show and Tell, and on today's episode, we're talking about some greatest hits of the 50s and 60s that I own. I think they're mostly from the 60s, but a little bit of it could be from the 50s. So let's get right into it. First of all, though, I want to dedicate this episode to my dad, Andrew Gotro, which my middle name is Morris Andrew Gotro. So my middle name is named after him, of course. Also, I want to kind of give you a quick flash of my shirt here. It says, "It's a Morris thing you wouldn't understand." Anyway, so yeah, it's dedicated to my dad, Andrew Gotro. And growing up, we would listen to the radio. My dad, I was born in 1971. So my dad, I mean, from the little records that we had to play and that, we also had the radio that my dad would listen to, especially on Saturdays. I think it was Saturdays or Sunday mornings. There was first the Wolfman Jack show, which my dad would listen to religiously, and he have his little tape recorder taping all the little shows so he could play back some of those tunes. So much of my musical vocabulary came from those old 50s and 60s, music that my dad would love, because that's the era my dad was into, so he grew up on all that great, especially he loves the 50s music, but I think it was that 60s music, because that was his adolescence, that was the being born in 1953, so that was his era. And it influenced a lot of my musical taste. And as a kid, because Kiss was my favorite band, as a kid, it's no longer my favorite band now. We all know who my favorite band is. It, we you didn't want to like it because it was just not your type of music. But anyway, we're gonna start off with a great artist by the way, all the CDs I'm going to show you at right now in this segment here are brand new, that have all been bought at Frank's Music here in Moncton. If you're ever in town and you're going to go and get some music, go to Frank's Music and buy and talk to Carl Barter. He's a great guy. Buy local whenever you can. I support local whenever I can. So we're going to start off with some Del Shannon, and it's all the hits. And I'm not going really too much in the list of this, okay? As I go along, there is more artists that has more impact that I will go more in depth about the song list and that. But I just want to highlight the three first songs. Not to take away from all the rest of this, because you can check this out on, you can check out what's on this on YouTube or the internet and that. But my memories is still, of course, of Runaway, which incidentally marks actually one of the very first songs that has that Moog synthesizer electronic sound, that dee 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 doo 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 dee doo dee doo doo doo. Well, that part there it was the very first time you could say it was kind of that the birth of having a little bit of that techno sound in music. People don't really relate that to that, but it is kind of there where it sort of started in many ways. But then you get my favorite track off of this is the second track, Hats Off to Larry, which is just, yeah, I love that song. I just love the rage and the power in his voice, and that kind of, you feel the angst in his voice in this song. It's almost as if it was personal to him. But then you get also So Long Baby. Is that, yeah. So Long Baby, which is also a great track and very familiar from my days. But there's a lot of great little things on here that he does. that he does covers of other people, a few things here and there. Like for example, track 19, Run Around Sue. And then also the last track, he does his version of Twist and Shout, which are pretty cool. There's a track, yeah, he also, I think it's Memphis. Yeah, he does a cool rendition of Memphis. It's great. It's a great little greatest hits. But I want to get into the next one, which is Bobby V's Essential. And basically, I mainly got it for just one track. It's only for one track. It was on, because this is a 2-disc special. And the track that I wanted it for was The Night Has 1,000 Eyes. Go watch the video. Go take a cool. I love the lyrics. I love what it represents and what is. It's just one of those songs that when you're a kid, that melody, the way he sings it, it's just so catchy. And then to rediscover it so many years later after not hearing it for so long, it does wonders to your brain. It brings all that nostalgia of being a kid all back again. It's the good parts of nostalgia. I mean, sometimes we have crappy childhoods, but it's those memories of our pop culture, I hate to say sometimes, that really takes you into some happy memories that you can cherish. And there's also some really great tracks I grew up on too, like Rubber Ball, like the second track on the first CD, which is amazing. He does some other little renditions here. He does Mr. Blue, which is really great. What's another one that's good? Sorry I Met You Baby, Every Day. So he does a couple of covers and stuff. He does a great rendition of Little Star, which I like. Walking with My Angel is another one. I'll be walking with my angel. So yeah, this is a great. And again, like the Del Shannon, you can put the CDs on and just let it play. Every track is solid. So I mean that's why it's an essential recordings. You gotta be liking that music to really get in. I love this kind of music. And as you can see so far, if you've been watching all my videos, I have such an eclectic mix of music. You're not gonna believe where I'm gonna go next with some of my music choices. But like for example, there's also I got this only because of one song, but the whole thing ends up being fantastic, and that's Lee Dorsey. And it's for that first track, Yeah. And again, that's from my dad's tapes that he would record from the radio. And I remember, him recording those songs and then being able to replay them on tape. That was my first memories of my dad loved the 50s music, and that's the stuff he would get lost in. But everything on this is just solid listen to. You get the Ixie Dixie Pixie Pie, you get the Eeny Meeny Miny Moe's, the Sneak and Sally Through the Alley. Everything I do going to be funky from now on. Everything on this is great. But it's the next two actually that I have more. As much as I love these, and these are great, it's mostly the 2 or 3 tracks that I love. This next one here, I love all the tracks on this. Like, there are so many really cool hits from this band that I love. And that's the Herman's Hermits, their greatest hits. And everything from Mrs. Brown, You've Got a Lovely Daughter. My favorite track on here is the second track, and my brother's too, No Milk Today. That is the best track on this. Then The End of the World, This Door Swings Both Ways, just a little bit better. And everybody remembers the song from Ghost that Patrick Swayze sings to Whoopi Goldberg's character to convince his Demi Moore to well he annoys he to get to get Whoopi Goldberg's character to cooperate. He starts singing, "I'm Henry VIII, I am Henry VIII, I am." So that's from Hermits, which is a great song. I don't even think it's their original song. I think they took that song from somebody else too. But then they have There's a Hush, Silhouettes. Now, track number 8, Silhouettes. If you haven't really paid attention to those lyrics, okay, it's such a great little song. It's a little story that about a little day in the night, of this happening. This guy walking down the street and he sees two silhouettes on the shade. But I don't want to spoil. There's a twist to the story. You gotta really pay attention to the lyrics because it's a funny little story, and I love that about this song. But then you get track number 9, I'm Into Something Good, which is a standard oldie. Can't You Hear My Heartbeat? Another standard awesomeness from this band. Another classic too that I didn't realize is Dandy. Such a catchy song to sing. What a Wonderful World. A beautiful song. Hold On. Listen, People. And then probably another one of my favorites on here is Leaning on a Lamppost. Such a great song. And then the last one, A Must to Avoid. Every track on here is just great. I can put this on and just let the whole thing play, and it's just good fun. And I want other people to look at that singer here, the guy with the blue shirt on the bottom, okay? Now, and watch old clips of him and tell me that he doesn't look like TV's greatest serial killer, Dexter. Yeah, I think me and my brother, we find he looks very much like Dexter. So that's a must get for anybody who likes those kind of songs. And you gotta really love this kind of music to get into it. And another one, I got this because I wanted one song in particular, and this is the Lovin Spoonful's greatest hits. I got this for a song in particular, Darling Be Home Soon, because I heard this on a compilation album that I already showed you on this channel in the Belle and Sebastian, the late night tales. There's a track on there of the Lovin Spoonful called "Darling Be Home Soon," and that's where I first heard that. I wanted to get more because they also do "Do You Believe in Magic," which everybody knows. Do you believe in magic? So that was a great track from them. They also have some other little hidden gems here. Summer in the City being one of them. But the track that I was kind of like, I didn't realize they had done this track, and I was so happy to hear it on this because I had not heard it in decades. And when I first heard it, and it's track number 12, "Rain on the Roof." Like, I remember that being a staple of the radio, hearing it every once in a while on the radio, and me loving it, and it was always such a good little easygoing tune about being on the roof in the rain. Yeah, and then when I heard that was on, just playing it, letting it play, and because everything on this is good when you and a lot, of course, with every single one except for the Hermits, all these other 4 that I presented, okay, other ones, I only really heard all the rest of the songs when I first listened to these soundtracks. I was familiar with at least 4 or 5 of their bigger hits, but a lot of the other stuff was just a first time discovery. Again, with the exception of the Hermits, which I pretty much knew 95% of this already. because they have a lot of hits that were just so catchy. And then also realize sometimes you don't realize that one band did these different songs, because sometimes the radio personnel don't tell you who sings the songs exactly sometimes. But that is going to conclude another episode of Most CD Culture Show and Tell, this little greatest hits special. I do bid you a good day, evening, night, wherever you may be. Be safe. Take care, everybody. And I'll see you on the flip side. Later.